Read through the Quran and you will notice a recurring anomaly in how its characters speak. When an antagonist makes a charge against a prophet, the words often fail to describe the person being accused. These textual accusations instead seem to work backward, functioning as precise forensic descriptions of the accusers themselves. We see this first on an interpersonal level with the story of Yusuf, or Joseph. At the height of the drama, his older brothers stand before him in Egypt and explicitly accuse him of being a thief, using the Arabic root saraq. Yusuf never stole. Decades earlier, these brothers literally stole Yusuf from their father's house, kidnapping a child and throwing him into a pit. Their charge of theft has nothing to do with Yusuf's character. It is a psychological projection of their own foundational crime, a diagnosis of the hidden state they are still trying to conceal. This pattern of projection scales up from individuals to entire societies, most clearly during the public trial of Maryam, or Mary. When Maryam returns to her people carrying a child without a father, the crowd confronts her. They accuse her of bringing shayan fariyan, something unprecedented, a fabrication. But Maryam carries a physical sign that exceeds their understanding. Because their collective worldview cannot process a miraculous event outside causal time, they are forced to invent a scandal to explain it. They are the actual fabricators. In both instances, the accusation reveals a forensic footprint of the accuser's spiritual deficit rather than the reality of the target. This same forensic lens reveals a surprising mechanism within the story of the ultimate adversary. At the cosmic scale, look at how Allah questions Iblis, the devil, at verse 3875. He doesn't lead with an accusation. He asks, "What prevented you from prostrating? Were you arrogant, or are you actually among the exalted?" Iblis traps himself through a specific linguistic route. He chooses the word khayr, claiming he is better than Adam because he was created from fire. On this upper path, Iblis weaponizes khayr for self-elevation. By using the good to inflate his ego, he triggers his own expulsion and a deferred collapse. Contrast this with the Prophet Solomon. He uses the exact same word, khayr, when looking at his magnificent horses, but recognizes it as a worldly attachment and sacrifices it to empty his ego. Iblis is not an independent rival to the divine. He functions as a mechanical filter, a test of whether a host will choose ego inflation or surrender. The structural trap Iblis fell into was occupying physical presence without fulfilling the internal command. The Quran calls this result a jasad, an empty body. We see this hollow presence materialized in the golden calf built by Samiri. It was a physical body with a lowing sound, but it was completely devoid of spirit. This image of the empty form haunts the text, from the body cast on Solomon's throne to Pharaoh's lifeless, preserved corpse. Ultimately, the worship of physical idols is the human ego claiming ownership over an empty throne to avoid the demands of a living authority. If the devil is a mechanical filter and the idol is an empty form, who is the true enemy the Quran is warning us about? Look at the grammar of verse 241. When Iblis refuses to prostrate, he is described as being among the disbelievers. But 241 warns the reader, do not be the first disbeliever in it. This primary disbelief is an internal event. It occurs when a person holds the book, recognizes its truth, and then actively chooses to conceal what they have already identified. To believe in a devil that exists only outside the self is the ultimate psychological projection, a story constructed to avoid personal accountability for the truth we already know. Societies historically attempt to replace the living messenger with a dead physical witness because a physical object makes no demands on the self. Messengers die, but the Rasul field, the living word, is unkillable. It functions as an active circuit, delivering the message directly to the one who hears it now. The book is its own proof. The human intellect is already equipped to recognize its authority without needing external mediators or institutional permission. The final choice belongs to you. To break the cycle of projection, you must abandon the empty idols of assumption and grip the book yourself to activate the living memory within.